Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to In Search of the Lost Diecast. Well, as you probably saw from the previous screen, I've called it the Wall of Help. I'm sure I'm going to come up with a better name. But two of the guys from the DMC, Mr. Ian Hulley and Colin, have sent me bits and pieces that have moved me towards my goal of getting back the collection that I lost. Ian has sent me this. This is one of his restorations. It's a fabulous Kenwood Transit van, all singing, all dancing, restored by Ian. Looks absolutely amazing. We swapped it. I sent him a catalogue that I had and a book, but it's very, very gratefully received, because I actually had in my youth, I think I had the police one and I think I had the fire one, were the two that I had. I never actually had the Kenwood one, but I'm very, very grateful nonetheless. Colin, I'm sorry, I can't actually remember your surname off the top. I will put it in insert underneath, but Colin very kindly sent me the back half of this. I don't know if I can get it into focus. There we go. A little milk float, because I had the truck but he had the back, so he sent me the back very, very kindly. And so I'm really happy to report that that's two more off the list. The list itself's probably going to be around about the 400 or 500 mark. For those of you that haven't watched the origin story, basically I came out of a relationship and lost my collection as a result, and I'm just trying to get as much of it back. Obviously not the same models, but as much of it back as possible, because these were things that I had as a child myself. Some of them were even my dad's cars when he was younger. So yeah, it's one of those things. I'm just trying to get as many bits and pieces as I can. The trouble is, as everyone's very well aware, eBay and various other online sale places, it can get a bit expensive. So anywhere where I can do stuff like this and do, you know, swaps and things, Colin very kindly sent it to me just for the cost of the postage, so that was absolutely lovely. I will include my email address somewhere down here, so if you've got anything that you don't want, or you see anything that I don't want that I do in my unboxing videos, that you might want to swap, that would be fantastic. But today I got this, the Dinky 555 fire engine. Ladder works, the internal bit of the ladder's missing, but when I looked at it, the condition looked pretty awful online. It was a job lot of 3 vehicles. I'll show you the other 2 in a minute. But the pictures really didn't do it justice. And if you look at it, I mean, considering its age, it's not been restored. There's other than the sort of the edges, there's very little paint off of it. It's in absolutely stunning condition, really. So all I'm going to try and do is get a little bit of a ladder to go in there. I'm pretty sure that you can get replacement ladders. And I think, I mean, even the back, look, that's fairly highly detailed for a Dinky. I think I'm pretty much going to leave that as it is. This one I will restore, because I don't think the colours really go together, but I will restore that one. So perhaps I should have a little pile over here of ones that I'm going to restore, and then have these ones over here, the ones that I'm not going to restore. So I'll put those like that. The next one is a Buick Riviera. Again, this was the job lot of 3 with that. And again, the pictures themselves, really, it looked really tatty in the pictures. I mean, I do understand that sometimes it's quite difficult to take photographs of very small vehicles. I mean, I know myself, even just getting it so that, you know, you get them in focus on the videos, it's quite difficult. And don't get me started about filming, as those of you that have watched my feeble attempt at my first restoration will have seen. What happened was I actually pressed stop when I started recording, and I pressed record when I stopped doing what I was doing. So I ended up with lots and lots of photographs and video footage of me having a cup of tea and all that kind of thing. So it wasn't a great attempt, but hopefully the next one will be better. As they say, learning all the time. This one, this Buick Riviera, is a Transit. And if I can get it in the right position, hopefully I'll be able to show you. There we go, there's the headlights. There we go, there you go, you can see it now. So that little sensor there is where the light gets, oh, you can actually see the light slightly better when they're pointed downwards, like that, there you go. The light goes in there, and obviously it comes out here. I did wonder whether it extends to the rear lights, because on the Rover that I've got, it appears that it does both, but perhaps that's just my imagination or wishful thinking, but that looks like it's lighting up. But hey ho, someone out there will know better than me. Feel free to put it in the comments and inform me that I'm totally useless and got it all wrong. But that, as I say, is fairly, that you can see that if I block it off, like that, it pretty much shuts the lights off. As soon as I open it up, the lights come on. There you go. So, and again, the condition, apart from a little tiny nick here, it's in pretty good condition. There you go, there's a little Corgi. So that's that there. We'll put that in the pile of we're going to leave alone. Let's get those there. And then the third one, the final one, and again, this looked bigger in the pictures, but in real life it's actually quite small. It's a Daimler 2.5 litre. It's a Dinky Maano, but it doesn't actually have a number, or not a number I can see. If I get it in, there we go. There's a patent number right at the very bottom, but it's very tricky to see. But there we go. So it just says Daimler 2.5. Stay still. Daimler 2.5 litre, Dinky Toys, Maano Limited, England. No number at the top or bottom. But again, nothing opens on it. But it's got all 4 tyres, which is a godsend, because that's the one thing I'm having a nightmare with, trying to find the right tyres for vehicles. Luckily, all these ones over here, these 3 and that one, have all got tyres, but we will be coming to some that aren't quite so well booted, shall we say. But yeah, again, a couple of little nicks, but generally speaking, for a car of its age, pretty outstanding really. Can't quite see what that says right there. I don't know, that just says Daimler, or can I get it to focus? No, perhaps it's just, maybe it's just a bit of dirt. There we go. Anyway, but that's it. So that's the 3 purchases I got online that arrived today. I do want to just show you one other little thing that came today. If I can find it, there it is. I also treated myself. I've been looking online at different books, and I bought 1 or 2 that's going to help me, because unfortunately, when you get to my age, sometimes you do forget exactly what it was that you had. I have vague recollections of certain vehicles, and I've been mostly using Google to do some descriptions, but I've managed to pick up this, which is the field guide, the Matchbox, because predominantly, probably 2/3 of my cars, probably sort of 250, were Matchbox, and probably about well, maybe half and half, and about 250 were Corgi and Dinky. But because I think I had so many of the Matchbox ones, and they're so small, but I played with them all the time, it always felt like there was an awful lot more. But I mean, it's really cool. It's a lovely book. There's lots of fantastic pictures. So it actually lists the number, so that's a 49B. On the previous page, it's a 49A. There are a few gaps. One of my favourites, the little Corsair, I noticed isn't in here. But generally speaking, it's a absolutely fantastic book. And I've been looking at this online, looking on eBay, and it's been changing hands anywhere up to sort of £20–25. Sometimes a bit cheaper, but mostly that's what it's been. But on, what day are we now? Friday. On Tuesday this week, I saw this, there was a copy of it, and it was starting bid a £5, and it had nobody watching it. So I just carried on watching it, and I jumped in right at the last minute, and I got it, sure enough, I got it for a £5. So I'm absolutely over the moon with that. Lovely, lovely book. And that will probably live in my loo, so that when I'm sitting there pondering the world, I can have a little browse through this and renew my memories of cars that are lost. Like I said earlier, what I will do is I will include my email address at the bottom of the screen, so that anyone that wants to contact or has any information about things that I've got wrong when I'm describing these, I'm happy to be pointed in the right direction and corrected if I'm wrong, because I don't actually want to do a video where I mislead anyone. So if I've said something that you think is wrong, feel free to correct me. Next one, this was a charity shop jobby. £4 I managed to get Who Loves You Baby. Yeah, I got the Kojak car, and it does work. Well, it works in the sense that it fires, but this man, I think, from memory, I'm sure when I had it as a kid, as you pressed the fire button, he went like tick, 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 and started moving, but it doesn't appear to be doing it. The doors opened, boot, bonnet done, but most importantly, it does have its little red light. So, as a certain person down in Australia might say, I'm happy with that. So, yeah, that's my Kojak car. It's actually a Buick Regal. Sorry, my knowledge of the American cars is not what it should be. I love my British cars. I love my sort of 60s and 70s cars. But American cars are an alien breed to me. But I do like them. And this is another one that I did have. I tended to get these type of things at Christmas and birthdays, the big Dinky and Corgi. There is a little crack in the screen, but to be perfectly honest, I'm not that bothered by that. Again, little bits of damage here and there, but overall it's not bad. Again, I might just think about refurbishing the bumpers and see what it looks like after that. Let me know what you think. Should I? Shouldn't I? Should I? Shouldn't I? Anyway, let's put him there. Got a few more. I'm not gonna be doing this for hours, but I have got a few more. I did manage to pick up some of my favourite Matchboxes. So I've got a Mercedes 220. That's that one. God, aren't they small by comparison? Look at the size of that. That probably fit. Yeah, almost to its inside. Opening doors. Fairly nice interior, screens in good condition. This is another borderline one where, mind you, that's a little bit far gone there. But that's on the borderline for me. That really is. There's a few here that are beyond borderline that obviously do need some help. So we'll put that one over there as a maybe. Actually, so that's a definite. That's a definite. These are we're going to leave. So the ones by Garfield there, they're going to be the maybes, I think. Let me see if I can zoom out a little bit for you. There we go. And then come back in just a smidge. There we go. So hopefully that'll give you a better view. Right, I've got a RollsRoyce Silver Shadow. Opening boot. This Matchbox lot I think was it was £4 on Marketplace. I think it was about 10 cars. All reasonable condition. Nice boot, as I say, nice opening boot. The front's okay on it. That's a maybe as well. This is definitely a refurbishment. This is your Austin let me have a look. I'm sure someone will be able to tell me. It's number 15. I'll tell you what, let's refer to my book. Number 15. Number 15. It is. Of course. Who's going to bet that it's not in here? Number 15. Yep, of course, that's one of the ones that's not in here. Oh well. Clearly there are some gaps in this book, but yes, but it's an Austin A something, and that's a definite refurbishment, that one. Then we've got the Ford Thunderbird, which is a beautiful little model, really is. Stunning little model. Again, two-tone. I'd love to know how they painted these in the factory. Must have been quite difficult. Little grey wheels, two little rivets. I think that's a refurbishment. Then we've got a Pontiac Convertible. Now this one, if I could get a screen for it, I think I would pretty much leave it as it is. It's lovely. I mean, think of it. That's 60 years old. Little scratch on the back, little nick there. It's absolutely fantastic. Love these little. The early Matchbox for me are the reason I got into toy cars. They're just. When you think of what the cars look like today, and then you see these, I've just gone against everything I've said, haven't I, about American cars. I loved these because I knew what these were. But these 70s and 80s American cars, just, not so much of an interest. But there's a classic, the Thunderbirds, the Chevrolets, all that kind of thing. I do love those. But that's a beauty, that one. Right, a couple more. How are we doing? 5. So this was the only one with any sort of major damage, and it's a RollsRoyce. I think it's a Silver Cloud, and bereft of just about every bit of paint, completely, and more sadly, missing a boot. So I don't even know whether there's a reproduction for that, or if anyone out there has got one that's got a boot that's got a smashed screen or no roof, because it would be nice to do that one. The only other thing I thought of was perhaps with the right amount of sort of putty, perhaps you could fill that in and fake a boot. I don't know. but it's a lovely casting. It's very, very accurate. My dad used to maintain a couple of these for a company in London called Paddy Barthrop. He was in business with a guy called Douglas Bader at the end of the Second World War, and he used to supply Rolls-Royces to the Queen for when they had dignitaries over, because obviously she had Rolls-Royces, but obviously when they needed extra ones, he had a hire company, and it was Patrick Barthrop and Douglas Bader, who I was very, very lucky to meet when I was a child. Amazing man, amazing man. So that's the Rolls-Royce. Now we've got a Ford, and we all love Fords. Well, most of us love Fords. There's a Ford Zephyr 6. Now this one obviously has been repainted by someone, and the repainting extended to painting the screens. So I'm hoping, as this is all intact, I mean, even he's painted the wheels, the bottom, the screen, apart from the roof, interestingly enough, but hey ho. So yes, that's a definite refurbishment. I think originally it was blue. Correct me if I'm wrong. I could refer to the book, but it would make this video way too long. I'm pretty sure it was blue, and I had one of these. So all of these cars here I had as a child. So that's another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 off the list so far. And there's 2 more to come. And I have shown this one before, but I've got a second copy of it. And this is the Voxal Victor. And this is one of my favourites, because it's probably the very first car I remember my dad having. And it's this. And it was a similar colour, actually. So this is the Voxal Victor. It's all intact. It's got a few little, flea bites on the roof. And that's going to go there because I'm not entirely sure whether I'm going to do that or whether I'm going to leave that. And the very final one, sorry, in this light it is an absolute nightmare to try and read anything. So I'm hoping if I can get it in the right light here, we might be able to see what's going on. Let's just move it around just a second. No, can't see it. Right, so I'm pretty sure that's fairly similar. I think it's a Singer. I can't make it out, but it's another little flatbed. But beautiful little casting. Oh, I messed my camera up. Let's get it back in the right spot. There we go. It's a beautiful little casting. I think I might like to do that one, because I think that would be a nice one to do. And I might get some sort of company decal on the doors, of the time. I think I said I'm not interested in recreating Matchboxes if they were in their own boxes. What I like is cars that look like the cars of the time. So that's the Matchbox ones. I'll just leave those there. There's a couple more, and then I think we'll call it a day. I got this one, which is the Daff City Car, and naughty me, what I've done is I've broken Mr. Martin Dare's golden rule. I didn't look at all the pictures. In fact, yes, I did. I did look at all the pictures, but unfortunately all the pictures weren't there. All the pictures that were there were quite deceiving. So it looks like an absolutely fabulous car, a fabulous little model. So little tiny bit nick on the screen there, but again, that didn't bother me. Opening door, another opening door, suicide door. There we go. The boot opens, the bonnet opens, and it's perfect. until you turn it the other way around. Yep. Missing the door. Even the seats, look, even the seats go forward. I mean, constructing this in the factory must have been two-tone. It must have been an absolute nightmare. And it's a Corgi Whiz Wheels, and as I say, it's the Daff City Car. So, if anyone out there has a passenger, no, it's not passenger. Well, yes, it would be if the steering wheel was on the right side. So, if anyone has got a near side door for a Daff City Car, please contact me at the email you saw earlier on. So that's a refurbish, so we'll put that over with that one. I'm going to move that camera just a smidge back again. There we go. Buses. Cars can sometimes be like buses. I bought that in a job lot because I wanted that. And then another job lot where I got this, I got a couple of other cars that are coming up shortly. I got this, which is a Buick Riviera, another Transilite. So two different colours. So I've got two versions of the same car. There we go. You can see the headlights both work on both cars. So yeah, bit weird. And again, very good condition. Now, does it mean that when a model's not particularly popular, it doesn't get used as much, so the paint is more intact? I don't know. But yeah, so two versions of that, and same tyres, same rims, just different colours. So there we go. We'll put those over there. Laz at Laszlo Collectibles recently refurbished one of these, and it came in a job lot with this one and that one and a couple of others that I'm going to show you. The Minissima. So I've got one of those. Little tiny crack on the screen. Again, I think Laz's one was the same. Little opening door here. There we go, door opens. Now, after I watched this video, I wondered to myself, I wonder if that was ever a real car. And sure enough, it was. And it was meant, believe it or not, to be the replacement for the Mini. But it never took off. So when I restore this, my restoration video, which if you haven't seen, it's calling it a video is probably a bit of a misnomer. Sorry about that. Because it wasn't much of a video, basically because I messed up. But what I can do is I can show you the finished car now. So there we go. So that was my finished version. So I highlighted the seats, put the lights on the back, highlighted the indicators on the back, the little black bits on the... Basically what I did was I found several pictures of the real car online, and I've tried to recreate. So it's got a red side, it's got the decals down the side, down the bonnet, obviously the red line and the little bonnet motif, highlighted in the dashboard there. It's got the little bit of white there, down by the white on the footwells, and then obviously the seats. If you Google Bertoni runabout, you'll see the original car. And strangely enough, they have just, I think it was last year, revived this model, and there's a new version of this car. It's a bit more funky, even more funky than this. Yeah, so that's that. So I'm just going to stick that over there. Need a new pile, don't I, really, because that's the one that's been refurbished, so we'll leave that one there. So this Minissima, when I do this, what I will do is I will try and make this look like the real version of this car as well. So we'll put that there. I think there's three more. There we go. We've got the Aston Martin DB5, missing the rear axle. This was again in the job lot. Oh, DB4, beg your pardon, DB4. Nothing opens on it. No moving parts as far as oh, beg your pardon, yes it does. Bonnet opens, but the boot doesn't. Nice little engine in there. So I'll have to work out an axle from somewhere. And that's a Corgi. So again, obviously that one's another refurbishment. There's this one, which is I think it's a DBlow, yeah, DBlow. It's a lovely little truck. When I saw it, I really thought it was Matchbox, but it's not. It's definitely DBlow. DBlow. There is, I think, is it DBlow Dinky? Yeah, DBlow Dinky Maano. So that is a beautiful little truck. So that will live with the Matchbox ones. There is two more. Right, so this was in this job lot. Now, I think because there was a door missing on that one and an axle missing on that one, it was a kind of spares or repair job lot. And I ended up with this, which is a Rover 2000 or P6. The screen is broken. Just eke that out. No, we're going to leave it. But the rims are there. It is a Transilite, and I think, can I get it in the right? Yeah, they are working. So I've seen a couple of the guys on the DMC turn these type of models into convertibles. Now, there was a Rover P6 convertible, so I think if I can come up with a little canopy for around the back and maybe utilise this to make a front screen with some pillars, I could turn that into a convertible, I think. It may be beyond me at the moment, but maybe that's something I could come back to. I think I'd like to, because I do love a Rover. Anyway, put that one there. And the final one, I've been after one for a while. And finally I managed to find one. And this was pretty much the reason why I bought this job lot of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a Hillman Imp. Now, I spoke to Ian Hulley, and I've spoken to a couple of other people about my memories of this car. Now, my dad had one. He had a green one. And I know I had at least one model of this car. And in my head, the rear screen opened, the boot opened, and the bonnet opened. Now, I've been told and I've been shown this is the Corgi model. On this one it says Sunbeam Imp rather than Hillman Imp. But on the Dinky one, the bonnet and the boot opens, but the window doesn't. So whether I'm actually remembering that I had two cars and they both did different things, unless someone can tell me that there was a mysterious third manufacturer, Spot On or something, that where all three things happened. I mean, let's face it, if they can make this with, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 openings, moving seats, it's smaller. So perhaps I am remembering it right, but from what I can gather from people that I trust, and Ian's one of the people that I trust, it's probably me thinking of two versions of the same car. Now, this one looks like it was the Monte Carlo version, unless someone just stuck stickers on. Because look, no, actually it must be, because this has got a sticker, or it's got a plate for the sticker right at the front. Anyway, I've probably rambled on way too long. I'm sorry it's taken a while to get a proper full video out, but over Christmas, sadly, I had the dreaded flu and I was out of commission, and it's only these past few days my proper voice has come back. If you listen to the restoration video, well, screenshots, you'll hear that my voice even then was still a bit sort of wispy, shall we say. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thank you for taking the time to watch my inane ramblings about toy cars. Like I've said at the start, if there's any cars that you've got that you don't want and you'd like to swap, or anything you feel you'd like to get rid of, especially tyres. If anyone's out there's got any tyres, just contact me through my email, and perhaps we can sort something out. As I say, I'm more than happy to swap. I've actually got another version of this that's incomplete. It hasn't got the I want to say siren. It's not a siren, is it? It's a beacon, whatever, lamp. So I've got a spare one of those if anyone wants one. So yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for putting up with my babble, and hope to see you probably in about a week's time. Probably be another unboxing. I've got to try and select what car I'm going to do next. It may well be this one because I do love a van, so I may get onto that one straight away. But let me know what you think, and let me know what you think about these ones. You know, whether something like that or the Voxal should be left alone. I mean, like I said, I think I'm going to pretty much leave all of these ones alone. But if there's anything on this side that you think should be left alone, let me know. All right, guys, thanks for watching. See you all soon. Bye.